everybody, thanks for watching. Now, this is one of those videos where, it's kind of sort of a touchy subject. Whenever you have to tell people the truth about themselves, you really don't know how they're going to take it. Are they going to truly understand it the way that you meant to say it? Can you convey it in the right way to get people to understand, your message? But, to me, people will get offended by some of the things in this video. But to me, the people who will not be offended are the people who are real with themselves. But you have to look at, history. Our history, black women. I mean, we as black men has had an uphill battle. We all know this. We know, so-called racism, white supremacy. We know what that's about. And we know what we face out here. But black women, the treachery, the traps, and, the confusion and frustration that you have been put through is deep. And I don't think you realize how deep it is. And you don't realize what is obviously in front of your face. And the thing is, what we got to remember is one of the biggest keys to white supremacy, to oppression, was to, of course, separate the black family. You as a black female have to understand this, plain and simple. And when you understand that and everything that entails, you have to then look at the black men that you are faced with today and ask yourself, what happened? What's going on? Is this really the type of man that I should be with? And this obviously is not pertaining to every single black man, but to the men that you gravitate towards the most. So you have to think about one. If the goal of white supremacy is to separate the black family, and I've mentioned this before, how the key to generational wealth begins with the family. It begins with the mother and father, plain and simple. If you guys don't have a strong foundation, if you don't have a loving relationship to convey to your children, to teach them how they should be a mother or a father, how they should be, out in the world, how they should be as far as education, then they won't learn these things. They will pick them up from places where, they shouldn't, where the message it might not be the message you want to give to your child. So when you destroy the home, you are destroying the foundation for generational wealth, and you are crippling a generation of people to become successful. And not every single black woman is going to be strong enough or have the resources or support to take a child as a single mother and elevate him to a level of success. And we see that is definitely the case in the black community today. It is really hard for black women to do this. But when you understand that one of the biggest things to white supremacy is to take the black male out the home, to destroy the black family. And then you look at the mass incarcerations that we have of black men, completely disproportionate to white men. When you look at the fact that once a person is arrested and they have that criminal record, and of course anybody on the outside looking in is going to say, well, he shouldn't have done whatever he did to get arrested. But if you're locking up the majority of people on a product that you put in their neighborhood, it's almost like entrapment. You gave me something that people want that I could sell to make money. And I sold it not knowing, what it does to people. Not fully understanding the consequences, basically surviving off the rule of, it's either me or them. Survival of the fittest. If I don't do this, I can't eat, I can't feed my family or what have you. And it's really, no other alternative for certain people, especially when they have lack of knowledge. So when you have people being arrested, black men being thrown in prison, taken away from their family, and the goal of racism, white supremacy is to separate the black family, what you have out on the street now, at any given time, you have different types of black men for black women to choose from. You have black men who are in and out of incarceration, in and out of prison. They got to sell drugs. They got to do whatever they got to do because they really can't get a good job because of their criminal record. You have black men who are trying, to do what's right. They don't want to be arrested. They don't want to do things that go against the law. They're trying to do the best they can to survive and take care of themselves and their family. So they work, they go to school, or what have you. And then you have black men who have made it, who are successful already, who are doing, big things. And these are what the black women have to choose from. Now let's keep it real. It's not so many of these black men that are successful and doing big, great things that's not celebrities, professional athletes. So that's one thing. So now what's really left for the black woman to choose from is between the incarcerated man in and out of prison and the black man who doesn't have that much, who's trying, who don't want to break the law, who got a 9-to-5 at Burger King, who going to school. She has to choose from a man that has the potential to do something good with his life and a man that is doing whatever he can to survive and breaking the law and doing what have you. So the goal of white supremacy, racism, is to make sure that you choose the man that's wrong for you. How do you do that? Well, first, we got to understand, one, to not go deeply into it, the seeds have already been implanted, for hundreds of years since slavery. So when you bring it up to modern day, how do you make sure? Because they obviously don't want you getting with the rich black guy. They don't want you getting with the guy who has a shot. They want you to choose the worst choice. And the thing is, your options are limited, plain and simple. And when you look at the culture that we have, if you want black women to choose the man that's wrong for her, then you got to make sure the culture promotes this man to be something great. You got to make sure that she's attracted to the wrong man. You got to give her a culture that's going to appeal to her, that's going to make her choose the man that's going to be the downfall for her offspring, for herself. And this is what we have seen with the hip hop culture. And we have seen a culture arise in the black community that is predominantly negative. Didn't used to be, more so today it is. And when you really be real with yourself and take a step back and look at, we already know, I talked about this before, the whole bad boy attitude. Black women saying, I want thugs. I want, a dude who can basically take care of me, who got the money. I don't want to be with a dude who really is trying to, struggle and everything like that. And now you have the black woman having to choose from the person who she really should be with and the person who society, who the culture is telling her to be with, the popular guy, not the square, the popular guy. And the popular guy just happened to be the drug dealer of the neighborhood, the ghetto superstar. And this is what's going together when we have these relationships, when people come together based on the culture. So when you think about it, it almost sounds stupid. Why would you mess with an ex-con drug dealer versus a black man who got a job, he's working, he's trying to educate himself, he's trying to do something good with his life? But this is exactly what has happened. This is what's going on. And we understand how the drug dealer is glorified. You don't see rappers rapping about, I flip burgers at Burger King and, I worked at Save a Lot and all this and that and making it banging, glorifying it. But you see the drug dealer glorified. You see the person who's working a 9-to-5 trying to go to school, he's called a square. He's corny. And the culture is appealing more to the wrong man for the black woman versus the man that's right for her. And not just that, you have on the flip side, black men receiving a culture that's derogatory towards women. So again, when you have two people meet in a culture that's like this, it's not going to end up well. But the black woman has been sabotaged. She has been tricked into choosing the man that's wrong for her. And a lot of you believe that this is your own feelings. No, he's just the man I'm more attracted to. And you don't really understand it's not your own feelings, that you have been tricked. You have been brainwashed into feeling this type of way. And I've heard it all the time. Black women say, I want a guy that's going to talk tough. A guy that's not that's going to put me in my place. Like, you want to argue, you want to, stuff like that. You don't want a guy that's going to be sensible and a guy that's going to be, understanding and have a conversation that's going to lead to compromise. It's like, You want argument. And, this is where black women get this angry black woman mentality from, because this is how you are portrayed on television. And you have been tricked into this whole thing. And this is what you have to understand. You have to pay attention to what you have been given, what they're giving you, as far as who you should appeal to, who you should be with. And if the culture is pushing a negative man for you to be with, it's something you definitely shouldn't follow. But again, when you sit back and just really think about it. It's so many people who I just know personally, and so many situations that I know about, where you have women waiting for some dude to get out of prison. You know what I'm saying? Or a woman who is, has Section 8 or welfare, living in a house where she has a grown man living with her, and she's taking care of her kids and this grown man. And it's like, what's going on? And we don't understand how the trap has been set up for women to be with this wrong man, to have kids, to accept welfare because he doesn't have a job and she doesn't really have a job like that. And her situation is going to force her to try to, do better in life. But because, it's so many roadblocks ahead, she's going to be forced to continually take welfare. If you are taking welfare, if you're being comfortable in that HUD, PHA, or, housing authority, whatever it's called in your city, if you're taking comfort in that government housing, you got money for food, they helping you pay the rent, and it's comfortable. And you got a man taking advantage of that. What you are doing is you are not being successful. You are not in a position to create generational wealth that's going to challenge racism, white supremacy. So again, you have to understand why things are given to you. They're given to you so you can fail. But you have this music now that is driving women more towards the guy who she shouldn't be with, the bad boy. He's promoted and lift up as being someone who black women should be with. And the square is a square, and he's not appealing, and he's not cool or what have you, and it is what it is. But then on top of the music is already promoting you to be with this wrong type of guy. It's at the same time telling you to basically question him, to cheat on him, and, to do all kinds of things yourself that would be, questionable within a relationship, that basically would drive a separation between y'all, distrust. So when you start listening to a lot of these songs and what they're talking about, it's like, why are a lot of these songs geared towards the black relationship or relationships? And you start listening to, why are these songs talking so much about us killing each other, or calling black women bad names, or, every black woman is a whore and this and that? Why are the hip hop songs so much geared towards this and not any kind of other uplifting music? So when you start listening to songs like old school stuff like Creep, remember that song TLC, Creep, keep it on the down low. Destiny Child, as I talked about before, telling women to date soldiers. If his status ain't hood, he got to be street if he looking at me. It's crazy. Ladies, leave your man at home. Club is full of ballers. Remember, Escape had that song, My Little Secret. Keisha Cole's had I Should Have Cheated. You had Unfaithful, Rihanna. Remember that song? Jasmine Sullivan had that song, In Love with Another Man. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And it's not just women who's singing about, cheating, it's men as well. So you get a lot of times women always say that, I don't listen to the words. And one of the things, as I talked about before, make no mistake, this music is more than just music. It is planting subliminal messages within your brain. It's bypassing the frontal lobe. And I talked about this scientifically, and I even had doctors explain this as well. It's science. It is what it is. Music breaks through all the defenses of the brain, plain and simple. So the message that's attached to the music, you will pick it up subconsciously, and you will act it out in the real world. It's basically what we are seeing. But to most people, that's too spooky. That's just not possible. But we see it all day. So you get a lot of black women that always say, well, I just dance to the beat. I don't really listen to the words. And the thing is, you got black men who listen to the words. You got black men that listen to the lyrics. And the lyrics is calling you bitches and hoes and sluts and thoughts and all kinds of derogatory names. It is saying that you are a gold digger. The music is saying not to trust you, that you a cheater. The music is calling you all kinds of names, and then you two come together with this understanding. And again, it's sabotage. It's destroying the black family, and the woman is basically supposed to be running that black household and keeping everything in order while the man goes out and basically provides for his family and creates an opportunity where the woman can do so as well. You know, if you have a man contributed to the household the way he's supposed to, then a woman can go out and contribute as well. Things are supposed to work. It's not supposed to be, you know, a hierarchy. And you know how, you know, those of us who do study Kemet, we always put the woman up higher than the man. So if the woman is sabotaged, if she's doing everything wrong, it's going to trickle down, plain and simple. You can find the most craziest, you know, sick person out there. Most of them love their mom. They love their mom, which is the weirdest thing. If they grew up in that type of family, a lot of people love their mom. Mom is the one. It's always been that way. When you destroy mom, when you sabotage her, I mean, the family is basically doomed. So I just want you to think about what I've said so far, just so far, the little bit I've talked about, and really pay attention to the things that lead to the stuff we talk about, the stereotypes. Oh, all successful black men always sell out and get white women, or, you know, it's something wrong with interracial dating or what have you. You've been set up, women, black women, you've been set up. You've been tricked. And you got to think about that. When you say stuff like this, you got to pay attention. So one, again, is to destroy the black family. Plain and simple. Racism and white supremacy. Destroy the black family. Destroy the foundation of generational wealth. So again, if you have a culture that's telling you to go out there, leave the square alone, go after the drug dealer, go after the guy whose status is hood, the guy who's street, go after that guy. That's the baller. That's the guy you want. The guy who sells drugs in and out of prison. This is the guy who's promoted. Meanwhile, you have the square who bust his ass, who worked hard, grinded through college, got a good position, or who had some kind of skills in sports. He had to do good in school to keep his, collegiate scholarship. So he's labeled a square, but he ends up in the NBA. He goes to college or what have you, ends up in professional sports. And he's surrounded by women from a different race that's telling him they like him for him. They like him because he has potential. They see the potential in him. They see that he's trying to do something great. He's a hard worker and he's a nice guy. And then when these men have no choice but to accept the woman that's going to accept him for what he is, and he marries another woman of another race, then you have people throw their hands up like he's a sellout or he's sold out. And I know a lot of people ain't going like that. A lot of people have a problem with that, but you got to pay attention. It's sabotage. You've been set up. You've been tricked. They don't want you to have those men, which is clear. Because when you see these celebrities that got these white women, they parade them out in front of the cameras for you black women to see. So y'all can see, oh, well, these niggas ain't no good. They sold out. Well, what do you expect him to do when the black woman that he's trying to be with don't want him? It's just that simple. So you got to pay attention to the sabotage. And it's so big and deep right now. Because one, when you start messing with the heads of black men as far as sex sells. Sex is a huge driver. And I talked about this before, how everything that the black man does, or any straight man, or any straight woman, or anybody that's interested in the opposite sex or what have you, everything we do is basically to gain favor with that woman or with that man. It's like, I want to dress up and look good for that dude, or I want to be balling to make sure I look good. I got this on for that woman. We do it for the opposite sex, plain and simple. So, one, when you're appealing to a man, sexually, you can't scroll up and down Facebook or Instagram without seeing pictures of these strippers, of women twerking. And we know now we in a big ass era. If you got a big fat ass, especially black man, we gonna go crazy. It's nothing better than that. But when you seeing that, damn, all the women who I would want to be with that got this kind of body is either a stripper, but not just that. I don't care, she got a body like this. I wouldn't want my wife or my girl to be twerking on Instagram or on Facebook. So, of course, a guy's still going to try to talk to her. But the relationship is not going to go nowhere because he don't respect you. Plain and simple. That's the sabotage. I mean, you got to really think about what's in the mind of these women who do this stuff. And everybody going to say, oh, it's just African dance bullshit. Let's stop that right now. We know what it is. Everybody's going to say something like that, or it's just dancing or what have you. We can't really be responsible for, how men feel about us just dancing. You know what you're doing. Let's keep it real. You exciting men, plain and simple. It is what it is. You're getting all those messages and all those comments from men who not liking you for who you are. They're liking you because your ass. You saying to yourself, this is what I have to offer. Here it is. It's no, my name is such and such, and I'm doing African dance. It's throw on the beat and then start twerking. It's not, oh, this is from the Congo, traditional African dance, and you doing it in African fucking dress. Bullshit. You know what it is. It's hood. It's street. It's the culture, hip hop. So we know what it is. Let's not pretend. But you're doing it for comments. You're doing it for likes. You're doing it to see how many people you can get, on your jock, so to speak. How many inboxes you can get. We know what's going on. So when you do that and then you finally pick a guy to be with and then the relationship goes south because he don't respect you, what do you expect? You have been set up. You have been tricked. Because you've seen Nicki Minaj or Beyonce or somebody twerking, you heard the song. Twerking is a big deal right now. You want to be popular, you start twerking. You're destroying your image. You're destroying the image of every other beautiful black woman that just happen to have a fat ass who don't want to show it to every guy. Now, she got to get stereotyped because of what y'all doing. She got to be in a relationship where a guy doesn't have trust for her because she got a fat ass. Now, he thinking that every single guy that she talks to, of course, is on her top or she cheating or something like that. This is the sabotage. This is driving a wedge in the black relationship. It is driving a wedge in communication and trust. And it's a setup. So again, racism and white supremacy don't want you to have these pro athletes. They don't want you to be with these superstars. And, you can't blame a person for who they fall in love with in truth. Plain and simple. So, I have 2 kids. I have a son and a daughter by African women. My daughter's mother is from Liberia. They black, just as black as me, my kids. My son is a little bit lighter, but they black. They got black mom, black dad. But, I have dated outside my race before. And, it wasn't on the, oh, I just want to see, or I'm done with black women. I hate black women. That's bull crap. I love black women to death. It's just when you get into these relationships that's driven by this culture and you're not with the culture, it's tough to be in a relationship with people who stuck in that mindset. And then it's like, with other black women, that you try to be with, they may not appeal to you in every way. I'm from the hood. I like women from the hood. I'm not going to hold you. I like girls from the hood who, but I like them to be kind of sort of sophisticated, lady, that know how to keep it in and don't got to show the world everything and, got to have all the attention on her, what have you. But, we like what we like. And you can't really expect the person to settle if they don't have to. And that's the thing. You can't help who you fall in love with. And it's either you're going to be lonely waiting for that right person to come, or you're going to accept who's going to accept you. Or if you luck up and find somebody who fits the criteria, that is what you're looking for, but they're outside your race, then it is what it is. You have to be with who you feel like you can be with. And what we do in the black community is we point the finger at a lot of these brothers who have done this, and we shun them and we talk down to them. And we say you sold out for whatever reason, when you got to understand, we've all been set up. We've all been set up. And you can't just expect the person to basically live by what you think is appropriate for black people, when all black people don't do that. It is what it is. You got to understand the setup, the trap. And we have to perpetuate what's true to us. It's just that simple. You got to just do what's true to you and what you feel is right for you, not what everybody else thinks. And the same goes for black women as well. And, black women get that label when they start messing with white men. Black women get called sellouts, or, you acting like a white girl for these white men. You didn't act like that with a black man. And again, it's a setup. It's the way the culture is driving you to act. to react to your own people. We have been set against each other to destroy the foundation for generational wealth. It's just that simple. So notice when you see a lot of black families, I try to tell people all the time, I promote family. I promote unity and marriage. I like all that stuff. Those are good things because they keep you grounded. Notice when you have a lot of people that's married in like real serious relationships, they got their shit together. When you got two people, it's like, okay, well, I got a wife to support, I got kids, I got to do what I got to do. It gets real. So you go out and you work hard, and you want to take your kids out and your wife out on vacation. You want to do stuff, so you work extra hard. You do what you got to do because, family is that foundation. And if you do right with your family, as you go along, everything can just be right. And you can build wealth, in your lifetime that can be passed down to your kids, and then they can build it up even more and pass it down and so on and so forth. This is how generational wealth begins, with the family. If you sabotage that, if you destroy that, if you trick the people of that race, you're going to get the result that we are seeing today, in the black community. And if you don't understand what's going on and why things are this way, then it's the reason why nothing has changed. So now it really takes a really strong, conscious black woman to see the potential of a black man who doesn't have much. It takes a conscious black woman to understand white supremacy and see that she is being tricked and the traps that's in front of her, and to not fall victim of that. You have to be conscious. Most of you women who are watching, black women, you are conscious. You are trying to be conscious. You are understanding what has been going on with black people. And you need to understand that. I get it. Life is tough. Life is hard. It's a bitch. And we go through so many tough things in life. Sometimes you just want to relax and have fun. So you want to go out to the club with your friends. You want to enjoy yourself and have a good time, blast music and everything like that. But you do so not understanding the message that's attached to this music and what it's saying and what it's doing to you in that situation. It is causing you to make bad calls. It is tricking you. It is messing with your judgment. It is playing with your emotions. Seriously. This is what it's doing. And you got to realize that. It's like one of the weirdest things that I heard. I never believed this even when I was younger. When black women always say, oh, well, the best sex comes from thugs. Thug loving. Like as if men who are successful don't have good sex. It's like, damn, it's like you don't got a big dick if you ain't a thug. What the hell is going on? So this is one of the things that drives the culture, that drives women to do what they're doing. Sex is better. I want rough, crazy, wild, and the only people who can give me that is this thug, gangster, ex-con. And think about that. Just think about what I just said. How crazy does that sound? It doesn't even sound like it's something that black women would do, but this is what we're seeing. This is what we are seeing still today. And, again, I'm going to keep saying it. Y'all been sabotaged. Y'all been tricked. And you got to wake up and realize that. So now we have black women. We are not getting the image of you as a strong, powerful woman. They're not giving us that no more. Now, one of the things, if I do got to pick something that I like about Empire, it's Cookie and how strong she is as a black woman. But it's really in the wrong ways. But she's strong. She's smart. When you understand like that character. But we're not getting that type of one. I would have loved for Cookie, a character like Cookie, to be like a lawyer, had been out there, like in a legal system, crushing it for black people or something like that. That's the image black women need to see. Or, as a black woman fighting for, black awareness and black history and trying to get rid of racism, white supremacy, something to that effect. Of course, something we won't see on, Fox. But they have turned you guys into sex symbols. And that's basically what we see. It's sex symbols. It's all about sex and fat asses right now. That's what's going on. And it's like a lot of you women can't even compare to the type of woman that they putting out there on social media right now. Everything is about her ass. Her ass this, her ass that. Women's getting injections, getting lips done, ass, titty, everything. To fit this culture. To appease this consciousness that we putting out. And it's a negative one. And it's going to create nothing but, pain in your life. It's going to create nothing but bad decisions that's going to lead you to be unsuccessful. And you're going to have these women who are going to sit up here and say, well, I do all this stuff and I'm still successful. Well, that's you. And, you deserve a round of applause, but it's not going to happen with everybody. Something in your life guided you the right way. You made right decisions. So I can't really put you in the same category as the rest of these women. You just did what was right for yourself. But majority of women who fell victim to this, especially the era when I grew up, the 80s, 90s, we've seen what's been going on with, what happened. And I can look at a lot of my friends now and they see these situations and where they at and remember like them chasing after the woman that they are still with today. That they have a relationship today because of kids, but not being in an actual relationship. It's like, I remember a few friends chasing after girls like, I want her, got her, kids, the relationship just didn't work. Now it's a baby mom, it's a baby dad. And we have a word for it. The simple fact that we have that word, that term, baby mom, baby dad, tells you exactly what I'm talking about is true and that this thing has been working for years. We have even come to basically glorify that, to say it a lot, to use it so much. Baby mom, baby dad, baby mom, baby dad. Nobody says husband and wife too much anymore. It's baby mom, baby dad. And then we got to answer those questions and explain why. Because you got into a relationship with a person out of lust, not love. And the relationship didn't work out because there was no trust there. There was no real love in the beginning, just lust. And you guys didn't have trust for each other, but you had a kid. It don't sound right. It sounds stupid. What? You didn't have trust for each other, but you had a baby. How the hell did that work? How y'all do that? But this is what we see. This is what we see. And, I can't point the finger because it happened to me, which is why I can convey it to you. I know. I've been through it. I understand. I got 2 kids. So, I know. I know how it goes. And it's one of the things that helped me see the sabotage and the setup. And it's like when you in a relationship with a person that you think everything is going so well and perfect and right, but you're getting played the whole time. And it's like, my whole thing I always thought about with relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever like that is, how could you be in a relationship with somebody and then do them dirty like that? It's like, how could you do that? That means we was never really friends in the first place, or you didn't love me in the first place. It's like, how can you stab me in the back for no reason based off the culture? And that's what it is. It's because the culture is telling you, leave your man at home. Your girlfriends want to go out where the ball is at. They ain't got men. They ain't got faithful, good men. So they want to drag you out to the club and put you in a situation where it's going to test your relationship. So now you're so busy trying to defend yourself to your boyfriend or girlfriend that y'all end up arguing, not trusting each other. And now you feel like that person is cheating. So you go do the same and, everything falls in the end. It's a trap. It's a setup. It's just that simple. Racism and white supremacy do not want us to be together. That is clear. And if we don't start understanding that, we're never going to be able to fix and repair the black relationship and see more successful, black families creating generational wealth. So now another thing is y'all women got to start letting these dudes go. These deadbeats, y'all got to start getting rid of them. Seriously. And a lot of women think because, they got 3 kids with one guy, but he's dead or in prison, then they meet a new guy and have 1 kid with him. And they trying to hold on to this one guy, hoping that he take care of all the kids. But this dude ain't got no job. You get up, go to work. You got to take the kids to daycare or to school, whatever like that. You're in Section 8 house or welfare house or something like that. And, you come home, this dude ain't clean up the house. He playing video games all day. He ain't helping you pay bills. But you holding on to this dude for what? Because y'all got a kid together. He a deadbeat. He ain't really doing nothing. He living off your situation. And this is what we seeing a lot in the black community. Everybody, y'all know what I'm talking about. Anybody that's really from the hood, you see this. You might be one of them dudes or one of them girls. Get rid of these deadbeats, man. Because they're not contributing to your house. They're not putting you in a position where it's going to benefit you and your kids and start to create generational wealth. They're taking advantage of the situation. And in a lot of cases, these dudes will knock you up. Like, well, she already got 3. You might as well give her 1 more. She'll take care of that little nigga until I try to figure something out. But this is going to be my key to have a place to live, a place to squat where me and my homies can come. And they don't really respect you and they out cheating on you, doing all kinds of stuff. And I hear these stories too much. Too much. I know too many people in the same situation. I see them a lot. And it's like, damn. So we sabotage each other, and we got to understand what this stuff is really about. destroying the black family. That is the goal of racism and white supremacy. Racism and white supremacy does not want you to be successful. Period. So when you got all these kids and they're giving you a culture that's allowing you to do this, and then they're paying you to basically stay ignorant, to stay unsuccessful. Here, take this welfare check. We're going to give you food stamps. We might give you cash in some cases. We'll help you get a house so you can live and survive and live off this government system, so long as you don't go out and try to do something good for you and your children's future. Pick this drug dealer guy who acting like a baller and you're attracted to him. He appeals to you because of the culture. Pick this dude that you'll find out later is nothing. What we're seeing that's driving the culture is this hip hop. And it's doing what it's doing. Everybody knows it. They don't want to admit it because we delight in it. As I always say, how lost we must be to find entertainment in our own destruction. You can say it is what it is because it is what it is. But if you point your finger at something outside of this, then you're wrong. If you point your finger at people for something that's outside of this culture, you're wrong because it's this culture. And we don't want to let it go because it's supposed to be cool and fun and entertaining and what's in. And we don't want to let it go and say that it's wrong and say, yo, why are you rapping about, women like this? What are you doing? Why are you talking about our black women like this? Why are you talking about killing our brothers and sisters? Cutting people's heads off and all this and that and shooting kids and kidnapping babies and all that. Like, what is that? What? And y'all worried about, who a person dates when you got your rappers jumping on stage with sometimes a predominantly white crowd at a hip hop concert and they talking about killing each other, killing black people. You don't think that's sticking in their head? Of course it is. And this is why later they can go hide in their room, hop on YouTube or social media and start calling us all these names because of the lyrics they heard that we say. Oh, y'all violent, negative people. Y'all kill each other. Y'all sell each other poison because we glorify it. So, we got to stop acting like what I'm saying is bullshit because y'all know it's not. We got to stop acting like this culture, this hip hop is, perfect, everything. That is all that because we got award shows and we get the approval and applause, from the white community. Come on, man. Y'all better pay attention to what this shit is. It's a Trojan horse. Plain and simple. It been got in the door. They've been killing us ever since. We gotta let the shit go, or we gotta at least change it back to what it was. I love hip hop. I was in the music industry, as I always talk about. Still love the music to this day, but I'm more of an old school rapper. It's a couple new guys that's okay. I like the old stuff. Plain and simple. Like I listen to mostly old R&B, classical music. I can't touch none of this garbage now. And sometimes I'm forced to when I'm in the radio and I'm in the car and I got the radio on, excuse me, I don't feel like, plugging in my phone and reaching and all that. So I got to listen to the radio sometimes and then listen to the filth, the garbage that's on. I'm like, who is this dude? Stop it. It's driving the culture. And it is what it is, but I want to bring this to your consciousness and get you black women to understand what they are doing to you, the sabotage. You shouldn't be losing black men who are successful to white women. It shouldn't happen. This is the sabotage of the black woman and, how she has been tricked to, one, stay at a lower state of submission to men, to have her image destroyed and to aid in her own destruction by accepting this culture and accepting the derogatory nature in which it perpetuates her. You, black women, gotta wake up. And, I hate to see, black women in so many of these, situations. But on a more positive note, and this is a 100% bona fide fact, you have now, recent studies will show that predominantly black women are excelling in college more than any other demographic, any other race, white women, Asian, what have you. You got more black women going to college and graduating than ever before. So this gives me hope that a lot of black women are becoming conscious and are waking up. But the reality is a lot of black women are being forced to. And it's just that simple. A lot of black women are just like, when you see that little opportunity to go to school, you got to take advantage of it. And there are programs where, what's it called? Like baby daycare or whatever. where you get like government assistance to pay for daycare while you either work or go to school or do both. You got a lot of black women that's doing it and taking advantage of that, which is why I made the video before about, if you're going to be successful, let's keep it real. You need to go to school. I'm into promoting African consciousness and everything like that. And, we don't want to be relying on this white man for nothing. But if you can go to school and get that degree that's going to help you get a better, successful life, do that. Because then once you got that and you start building that wealth, you can go branch out on your own later on. But you got to do something to establish yourself financially, especially if you got kids. So take advantage of whatever opportunity is there for you and use it to build yourself up. Don't rely on no men to do that. I hate to see that. I hate to see it. I hate to see when women who seem smart and seem like they got something good going for them have to be, subjected to the will of a man because he got some money. And I don't understand why women would put themselves in that kind of position, especially when they got kids that's not his. And it's like, now you got to walk on eggshells and kiss ass because this dude, he get to go out and cheat and do whatever he want to do because he got the money. And he know you can't leave. So it is what it is. Don't put yourself in that position. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Understand the sabotage, the setup, and what's going on. Act accordingly. Be really cautious of who you date, who you go out with, and who you use those condoms. Be cautious. Understand what's going on. To me, I tell people success is first. Period. All you should be focused on. Getting that bread. Success first. And some people feel like, well, success is boring. I can't go party and be successful. I want to party. I'm not going to have no fun if I go hit the books, whatever. That's boring. You got to go out there and do what you got to do to be successful. Everything else is going to come because success is there because you have success. So, yeah. Wanted to do this brief video. Didn't want to go too deep into this because I believe a lot of you understand what I'm talking about already. But I wanted to talk about this because y'all got to wake up and understand it's a setup. Sabotage. You have been set up to fail so that your successful black men are taken away from you and forced to go elsewhere while you are stuck with men who just want to play you and live off this culture, who want to perpetuate this culture that is not good for the black family because at the end of the day, the whole thing about racism and white supremacy is destroying the foundation of generational wealth, which is the black family, which is the family period. But they got to destroy the black family to make sure we don't have that foundation. So once you understand that and see the traps, you can act accordingly. But, it's my video. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch. 2 new DVDs out. Link in the description. Purchase if you can. I'll see you guys next video. Thanks for watching.